Hey everybody, Dr. Bob Vaughn, your local health and wellness expert, and I'm here to talk to you about why your shoulder hurts. So our condition of the week this week is called anterior shoulder impingement syndrome. And what it is when the front of your shoulder hurts, specifically with either like overhead movements, reaching across your body, or trying to like reach into the back seat, to try to hand your kid applesauce, keep them quiet, of course at a stoplight, or try to grab something out of the back seat, put your coat on, things like that. Now, a lot of people think pain's just normal and it's just a part of life and it's something that you have to deal with. The fact of the matter, it is not normal. So we're going to talk about some of the things that actually, what anterior impingement syndrome is, what you can do about it, and more importantly, how to fix it. So what it is basically, like I said, it's pain in the front of the shoulder with typically overhead or reaching type movements. Why it happens is due to poor posture. You get the shoulder rounded forward, weak upper back muscles, repetitive movements, like if you're doing a lot of reaching, bending, twisting, especially if you combine that with poor posture, and increased technology use. So most of you are probably watching this on a phone or a computer. That forward posture where like this is extremely hard on the shoulder. Now the reason for that is what happens anatomically. When you look at the top of the shoulder here, there you have your acromion process. There are two tendons and a bursa that fit underneath that little arch in the top of your shoulder, which is right up here. And what happens is when your shoulders are all the way back, when you have strong upper back muscles, is there is the optimal or the full amount of space for those tendons and the bursa to move through. Now when you get poor posture, if your shoulders start to round forward and you start to get this kind of stuff going on, what happens is we end up decreasing that space. The tendons and the bursa are still the same size, but they're a smaller space, and then they start rubbing and grating and irritating on each other. And then you start to get inflammation or swelling. And that's where people get diagnosed with like a tendonitis or a bursitis. Even that impingement is basically, that's what's going on. Is that space is getting smaller, and those tendons and bursa that are going through there are being impinged or irritated by that. And that leads to pain. Now, the answer to that pain is not necessarily a cortisone shot or a pill that's going to block the pain, because it's not a deficiency of a pain pill, it's not a deficiency of cortisone that's causing that. It's actually an anatomical or a structural issue, so it's really important to make sure that we fix that. Now, how you fix that is there's a couple things you need to do. First thing, you can work on strengthening the upper back muscles, so making sure you're pinching your shoulder blades down and together, doing some of the different exercises you can find on some of our channels and things like that as well. Making sure when you're working with technology, you're set up ergonomically, so when you look straight ahead at your monitor, you should be able to see the whole thing, so you're not looking down. You should be able to reach your keyboard with your elbows in at your side, bent at 90 degrees with your shoulders down. You should be able to reach your keyboard and your mouse. If you're on the phone a lot, making sure you're using a headset, one of them super cool ones that wraps around, or one of them nice little Bluetooth ones that they have nowadays. And then also you want to make sure that you're getting adjusted. So the mobility of your neck, upper back, as well as you can actually adjust the shoulder joint, is really important to make sure that we're getting rid on fixing the actual cause of the problem with that shoulder impingement, especially with the anterior impingement. And the last thing you can do for that is try to decrease the amount of technology you're using. Now, obviously, we're not going back to living in caves. However, it's really important to make sure you're minimizing the amount of screen time and the time that you are on the screen, that you're ergonomically set up so you are putting yourself in the best position to be healthy and well. So hopefully you found this information useful. If you or anyone you know would benefit from that, feel free to tag them, share this. We want to make sure we get the information out there. If you use some of these tips and you need a little bit more help, certainly feel free to check us out here on Facebook. We're on YouTube. You can check us out on Instagram at Health Source of Blaine. Even up at Twitter. So this is Dr. Bob Vaughn, your local health and wellness expert. Have a fantastic day, and remember, good health is a choice only you can make.